racing Tier 2 Formula 1 Championship. We're here for round 7 at the Mexican Grand Prix. Amon couldn't make it today, so I'm here to replace him. I don't know a lot about Tier 2, sadly. I'm not competent enough to drive for them. But looking at the standings, it's a good tier, it's a close tier. Where looking at the standings, we have Jaguar Power and Big Bambino, or Jaguar Power leading by 98 points. Big Bambino would like to close up to him, but he's already fighting with EXE Robin, with Bambino having 59 points and Robin having 56 points, being followed by Crofties, DRSNL, Said, Cassel, CI, Julioso, Trams, Lucky High, Lando, Mini Turns, Jackskins, Helenan, Samet Turksman, ASR Sensep, Presma, The Joker, I2.org, and Fontanel. Hey Said, did you miss me? But yes, this should be a very entertaining race. Mexico is a hard one to set up for because you have the very long main straight and the straight between thanks Sid. You also have the straight between 3 and 4. That's pretty long, so you need low downforce, but on the same time, if you set up the car with too low downforce, especially at the rear, you're in trouble for Sector 2 and the stadium part. So we will see a mix of low downforce setups and high downforce setups. And it will be interesting to see who will prioritize cornering and who will prioritize top end speed. I'll actually go grab the stream so I can see all comments. But yeah, as we can see from the standings at the top of the table, aside from Jaguar having a good lead, it's all very close and it's very much to fight for everyone. Just hold on a second, because I should also be putting this. Share link. Just going to put this in the commentator, or yeah, in the commentator channel, so Sitso or I don't know who can put it in. Or I'll just put the link there. So, as the drivers are one by one coming in and choosing the cars, I'll go over the constructor standings, which are also not too important. Alpine is leading mostly because of Jaguar Power. Sadly, his teammate Samet Turksman only has got a P6 to his name, but I'm sure he can change that today here. Then we have the Ferraris of Said and EXE Robin following them suit with only 9 points difference. 10 points behind them are the Alpha Tauris of Crofty and CI, being followed by the Red Bulls of Big Bambino and Lucky Eye, just 2 points apart. Then we have a bigger drop gap to the Aston Martins of I2.OG, who got replaced by Lando and DRS Neil. at 59 points. 9 points behind them are the Alfa Romeos of Jamie, who got replaced by ASR, and Cassel. 7 points behind them with 43 are the Mercedes of Trams and Mini Turns. Giulioso and Presimu are following with 31 points. At 15 points are Jenkins and Fontenau in the Haases. And all the way at the back with only 8 points are Helenen and Joker in the McLarens. So, with just 2 minutes to go until the start of qualifying, I'm sure everyone here will give it their very best and we should see some good and hard racing. Now, the most important thing about Mexico, like I said already, was the setup. But it's also really important to keep your nose clean. If you take even a little bit of damage on the front wing, you're having a very hard time at the stadium section and turns 1, 2, 3. If you damage the rear wing, you will not be able to drive at all through the middle sector. So the drivers will, even though they will be fighting hard, they should really avoid damaging themselves and each other, because any kind of damage to downforce will severely mess you up. We right now have 12 drivers. That is in fact enough to start the race. It's a bit low for my taste, but what can you do? As we're just waiting for the signal. I'm not in the tier 2 chat, so I can't actually check when everyone joins or when everyone has to go. We have 14 drivers now as Robin and Cassel joined in. Very glad to see those guys. Cassel, obviously my teammate in previous seasons. Joker has joined to pick up the McLaren. He and Helenen will be very eager to pick up a couple of points. Lucky High joins for the Red Bull. Very nice to see him here as well. Also, one thing on Mexico, if you mess up the start or the exit out of the final corner, you're going to lose a lot of time with how long the straight is. So I think for qualifying especially, people will be trying to accelerate, get as much an early acceleration on out of the final corner into the main straight. In the race we will most likely see it a bit less with if you accelerate really early and have to control the car. Not only will you lose time, but you'll mess up the tires, which at Mexico can be a big problem. So we're really looking out for that. Just going to ask Saeed, if you're still in chat, mate, if you can keep an eye out for weather updates, which will be very helpful to, I mean, it's probably going to be dry, but it might as well rain. It has been past 9. They should be readying up any moment now. I've actually run out of things to say, so yeah, maybe some predictions. I think Jaguar will win, followed by Bambino and Saeed. Um, so yeah, we'll see what happens. But my guess is Jaguar, Bambino, and Said. Are we going yet, or really stalling for time now? Don't see anyone readying up either, so it's just waiting for them to get the signal and go. Just going to take a quick look in the standings. I literally cannot see in the tier chat. Oh god. Oh, sorry, I was distracted on the Discord for a bit. So they got the sign already up, and right now we're getting ready for the Mexican Grand Prix qualifying. Now, 16 drivers, so there should be plenty of action out on the track. Here we see the famous stadium section with an exit into the final corner, which will then push you to the limits on the start-finish straight. There's the dangerous middle sector, which will sling you into the walls if you have damage or you didn't take the line very well. We won't be seeing a lot of side-by-side there, but you can very easily lose position or even the race there. Let's see if it will rain. No, it looks all very dry and clear. It's also a pretty long pit lane. Let's see, gap fastest lap. Yes, detailed tire, always nice. Telemetry, not that needed for quali. Lap data is always nice. And a map. Everyone's still setting up, but we can see a Williams going out. That is, I think, Presimut, the only Williams on track. Here it is. Obviously going for softs. Now also what you will see with the Williams is, what's it called, the screen not on the wheel. That will change for next year. So a very nice, this will be the final season, I think, that will have it, as I think next season will be 24 or maybe the season after that. So it will be getting used to that. As now a few other cars are on the track. Now, obviously, you won't want to be too close to competitors, but being behind them can create a nice slipstream for you, as Prasmo is warming up the tires really nicely. Which at this track, if you have cold tires, you'll just pull yourself over. You will most definitely have traffic from people not going as fast and just exiting the pit lane and such. Most notably the two Red Bulls right now, but as he starts the lap, pit lane exit, the cars are going out of the way, I think. They are. He passes them into the hard braking zone of turn 1, lift the pit for turn 2, lift again for turn 3, full on the acceleration, nearly loses the back, continues on onto the back straight. Turn 4 into 5 is an awkward chicane, as I call it, into the long hairpin of turn 6. Actually, it's turn 6, 7, but yeah. Turn 8 marks the start of the slingshot, as I call it, into 9 and 10. Then you get 10 or 11, 12, a very fast part. Spits you out into 13, which marks the start of the stadium section. A very tricky corner number 14 into 15, which will put you towards 16, going back onto the main straight, and we start qualifying with a lap time of 1:18.1. Who's next? Who's next? It was the Ferrari of Saeed. No, it's the Ferrari of Robin coming around the bend. Car number 69, a 173. That is a very nice gap. Can I actually turn in the gap? Yes. It's a nice gap of 4 tenths to Fibrinaldi and 8 tenths to Prasmo. As now the McLaren of Joker. No, that's Helenen. Helenen goes third with only 5 tenths behind. Then we have the Haas of That Must Be Jackskins. He is also on a flying lap. Watch out for him on the final turn. Clearing it back, and that is not a good time. This was maybe a warm-up lap for him, I hope. Samek Turksman goes third now with the Lando bot going first with almost a second between himself and Robin. That's very impressive done by him. Then we see the Williams in pits as the first Red Bull comes out on. It's Big Bambino in third place. Second Red Bull comes by. Lucky Eye only 8th place. But again, this is most likely just a warm-up lap. Then we have Saeed on a flyer. I think his teammate ahead is going back into pit lane. No, he is going out again. See it around in the final turn, sticking to a wall. P5 for him behind Sam Turk. Then is that Helenen. Helenen doesn't pit. He's going for another lap. Then I think it's Jaguar Power on an outlap. Yeah, it is. Then we have the Haas of Jackins. He is a lot faster now, coming around the final turn, but no massive improvement for him. Then I think that's now Joker outlap, starts his full lap. I think CI is now pushing for his lap, as the Red Bulls around him will be pitting. Yeah, he is finishing the lap, and that's a P5, a very nice lap, as I think that was Lucky High. Yes, Lucky High jumps up to third, a very nice lap for him, as that is know that Robin now going to second. Then we have the Alfa Romeo of Castell across the line starting his lap. Then we have Said who invalidated and is going back to pit lane. Helenen is not coming back into the pit. He's trying to improve, but he's just 2 seconds too slow. Then Jaguar Power goes to P9. This is not a good circuit for him. Jack Skins has invalidated, so he will have to go again. Joker coming around. This is not a fast lap. No, just enough for P7. Still a pretty good lap, but could have been better. Then we have the Aston Martin of DRS Neil. Just starting the lap, then I think it's the Alfa Tauri of CI going into the pit. The Red Bull is following. Then we have the Ferrari of Robin probably going to pit. Yes. The Alfa Romeo of Casal is now rounding the final corner. Sticking it to the inside across the line of 117.5. And that's good enough for P6. Now, then we have Helenen. Helenen coming around the final bend. It's a 117.3, so that's enough for P5. A very good lap from Helenen. Jaguar just crossed the line. He jumps up to P4. Then we have the Haas of Jack Keynes coming around the final bend, and he needs to put a good lap in. He does improve, but just slightly and not good enough. Brasimu now around the final bend, 5 tenths down on his lap, and that 7 tenths he gained is good enough for P8. Then we have the McLaren of Joker. Joker across the line. I totally missed Neil coming, beating his teammates by just 10 thousandths of a second, which is a very good lap time for him to beat Lando by that small of a margin. Then we have Cassell, I think, going back to pits. Yes. The Alpine of Jaguar. Don't know if he's improving or not. There are yellow flags behind, but that's for traffic. No, this isn't a fast lap. No, it's an in lap. Then we have the Haas of Fabrinaldi finishing the out lap. Jack Gaines is finishing the in lap, I think. Nope, he's going for it. Again, very slow lap from him. This is not at all what he needs. Then we have Brasimu going into the pit lane. Helenen probably going into pit lane. Samet Turksman on an out lap. DRS New on a cool down lap. Robin on an out lap being followed by Joker. Yeah. Joker, no improvement at all to be expected. Then we have the Red Bull of Big Bambino, yeah. Out on an out lap, followed by the Alfa Tauri of CI, also on an out lap. Fabrinaldi is on a full lap, so we'll stick on board with him for the final sector. I don't think he will gain much time. I lied, he jumps up to P9, 3 tenths gained. Then his teammate Jack Gaines, not really improving that much. Across the line, definitely not. Loro Julio is not doing too good either, but I have hope. Then the Alpine of Samet Turksman, 2 tenths up on his time. across the line. Small improvement, not big enough. Then we have Joker gaining almost 4 tenths. CI has retired, so no more improvement. Joker, despite gaining, parks it in pit lane. Robin is on a flying lap, a very slow one. The Bambino across the line, 3 tenths gained, very good from him. Lucky Eye on an out lap. Then we have Fabrinaldo on an in lap. We have Said on an out lap. Jax on an in lap. This is honestly not looking good for Jax. That he cannot get within 3.5 seconds of the leaders. He goes again, but yeah, the times are not good. He probably went out full of fuel. Lord Julio moves out of the way for the Alpine of Jago. No, Samet Turtman. Samet goes in the pit. Julio continues his way. There's only 5 minutes and 15 seconds left. As we can see, the Williams of Prasmu finishing the out lap to start the push lap. We have Lucky High, no. Robin on an in lap, I think the other Red Bull of Bambino on an in lap. So the first one on the lap here is Lucky High across the line. He gains some time, he comes right behind his teammate. Robin continued on, so Robin will be going for a push lap. Then we have Jax gains. Invalidating, probably boxing this lap. Yeah, he's been on those shots for 7 laps. He has done a race, he's doing race simulation. And his tires and times will not get better of it. Why is he doing this? I think Crofty is deciding to start from last. Then we have Prasmu coming around. That is not a fast lap. Right behind him is a McLaren of Joker who is on an out lap. Both of these will be pushing next lap. Then we have the Ferrari of, I think that is Robin. Robin invalidated, isn't going quicker, is going to pull in this lap and prepare for his final run. Lucky High is going to do the same. And I want to say that it's really close, but like the gap to P7 is already over a second. So yeah. But this might still get really close. Jack Gaines is I'm just going to ignore him. He is not taking this very serious. He's going to start on the back row with Crofty, and he will not care about it, probably. Then Cassell, 5 seconds slower, probably going for an in lap. And if he's going to push on. Then we have Julioso going into the pit. Don't think he has time to go out again. If he does, very nice. Oh, Espresso spins it into the pit wall. And he definitely will not have... he is ruining his rear wing. Luckily, that can be fixed in the pit with no additional time added. So he can drive into the pits and have enough time to fix the car, to get it out. The Red Bulls are exiting inside him before going out of the pit lane. And people are now leaving the pit lane to start the final laps. As I said, I won't ignore check-ins. As we just witnessed, Cassell setting the a purple second sector. This might be quite the jump up for the South American driver. Is there's yellow flags for traffic. He goes across the line, it's just P5. But the skill he has in the second sector will definitely help the Alfa Romeo here. Then we have Lando and DRS out on their outlets. As there are a couple of guys remaining in the garage, they will not be taking any further part in this qualifying. Jaguar on an outlap, his teammates on an outlap. Yeah, the Ferrari of Said on an outlap, then we have the Rebels on an outlap. Joker fucking around. Helenen disqualified. I want to say I'm surprised, but let's see, Jack Gaines not taking him seriously. So the first ones to see are the Aston Martins giving each other a tow here. As Lando Bot takes a purple second sector. These two are going to fight each other so hard for the win. As one of them, DRS Neil, has freaked it on the exit. His teammate takes pole of him. Cassell has retired. Most people are crossing the line to enter sessions. Joker has decided to pit and enter session there. DRS Neil is boxing and choosing to enter session there. The Ferrari across the line, Said can only manage P9. Samet is pitting. Lucky High is going to pit. Bambino is across the line. Takes pole by not even a tenth. So that's a very good result from him. Robin across, but he's invalidated. That's a nice 16.4. Good enough for maybe P3, but he invalidated. So that's his run done. We're now waiting on the final guys to be loaded into the pit boxes and to enter session with that. Really sad that the lap from Robin didn't count. But we have Bambino and Lando on the front row. Very good driving from both Aston Martins. So we have Big Bambino and Lando Bot on the front row, followed by DRS Neil and Robin as the second row. P5-6 is taken by Cassell and Fabrinaldi. Lucky Eye and Jaguar Power will make the fourth row. Expected more from Jaguar. Seed and Joker round up the top 10. Then we have Summit third and President on 11-12. 13-14 is Blurry CI and Blurry Julio. And Jackin and Crofty didn't even take it serious. But they're not last as Helenen got himself disqualified. So Helenen, who could have been pretty high, messed it up, got disqualified, and is starting at the back of the field. Really not what McLaren needed, as they're already back of the field in the constructors, but it is what it is. Right now, we'll be going to the grid, and we'll be preparing ourselves for whatever the hell is going to happen down into turn 1. Maybe even on the front, on the start. I remember in sprint last season that I got murdered at the start, like we didn't even make it across turn 1. I'm pretty certain I didn't even make it across the line. when I was already put in the wall. So lots of things can happen. There's a lot of good opportunities, but you first need to survive the first lap. As we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. It's lights out and away we go. It looks like Bambino has had a good start. Everyone is gone from the grid. Bambino did have a good start. Lando is now on the track from his teammate, as people will be spreading out. No one out in the first turn yet. The two Aston Martins let each other live. DRS now is now the leading Aston Martin, being followed by Robin, Cassell, Jaguar, Fibrinaldi, Stamet, Lucky Eye and Joker. Then it's Saeed, who is still fighting heavily to get into the points, as Fibrinaldi is really struggling here, almost into the back of the Alpine, but it was, was it Joker who rear-ended someone? It must be. His wing must be broken, and this was what I was talking about. If you have a broken front wing, you're losing so much time in the second sector. He is just going, he has to fix that this lap or he is irrelevant for the rest of the race. He needs to hope for a safety car to bring him back into it after the wing fix. He might as well have given Lucky High a little bit of rear wing damage, but Lucky Eye did not struggle during the second sector, so I don't think he did. Joker is continuing on. Oh no, he pitted. Thank God. The camera angle made me think that he carried on. But yeah, Joker is the only one boxing. He goes for another set of mediums as far as I can see. I should maybe put in... Yeah. So most people are on mediums. Jackin is on hards, and Lucky High needs to move up if he wants these softs to work. He is pressuring Fabrinaldi to climb up higher into the top 10, but this sector is not the right place to do it. He's right underneath his front wing, as Cassell is heavily pressurizing Robin. On the exit, he is alongside. Is he ahead? Not yet. Now he is. Fabrinaldi. Oh, that was very off the track limits there. But the move was already done, so he doesn't have to give it back. Fabrinaldi is now being pressurized by the Ferrari of Said. Bambino, again, fastest lap. DRS will be enabled this lap. It will be... first time we will see it is on the back straight, after sector 2. As Giulioso is fighting Crofty, there has been made contact, I think. Does anyone have damage? Giulioso doesn't. Crofty... No, I don't think he has, but Presimu is pushing past him anyway. Around the outside, and he backs out of it. Very smart to do. Bambino has extended the gap to 1 second. The Aston Martins are still fighting on who's the lead driver here, as Lando opens the DRS for the first time this race. Joker very much behind, really needs a safety car in order to salvage this. But yeah, it looks like Bambino is running away with it, although the Astons can try slingshotting. And what that basically means is that they can use the DRS on this long straight to shoot one another towards the competition, as Robin and Cassell are also enjoying the DRS. Lando now overtakes his teammates. As expected, there's a yellow flag for, I think, Joker. Yeah, spin. He's now going to try to spin himself back. He's lost his front wing again. And if there isn't a safety car right now, I'm afraid to say that it's all over for Joker. Yeah, there is no way he's staying on track with this much damage to his front wing. He will get those blue flags really soon. As there he is, there's the pit lane again. Second lap in a row that Joker pulls into the pit lane. Really sad to see him losing his race like this, but yeah, what will you do? He's going to get lapped. Blurry has a time penalty. Joker just got lapped by the entirety of the top 5. 6. Yeah, his race is just done. Even if there is a safety car, he is required to stay behind all these people. So there's nothing he will be able to do to salvage this race. He's now also on the hard tire, so I don't expect any more stops from him. Persimu has dropped to the last, must have made a mistake. At the front, Robin has passed DRS Neil and is now fighting or trying to look if he can get Lando for P2 and then fight Bambino for the lead. Now Robin is pretty fast. Casal has also dropped off from the Aston Martins and Ferrari. He's now driving in a bit of a no man's land here. But that does take the pressure off and he can think about tire management. With it being a one stop of 36 laps, it's important to keep the tires in good shape, as Robin is now going to get DRS off Lando for the next 2 straights. Will he be able to use it already? It's a long straight, but it's a long way back. He's going to wait patiently for the second straight, trying to stick right behind the Aston Martin here. There's Bambino, there's Lando, and there is Robin. Also breaking away from DRS Neil, even though Neil still has DRS right now. He will most likely lose it by the time we enter Sector 2. But still, Sector 2 is really hard behind another car, because the dirty air will seriously mess you up on this circuit. As we can see, Robin is dropping back significantly, but the DRS will help him gain that time up, but it also helps for DRS Neil. Meanwhile, is there another hard fight? Yes, Samir Turkman is trying to overtake Sayed. Joker, 3-second penalty. I don't think Joker cares anymore. I think Joker knows that his race is over, done, dusted, and that there's any real chance. Robin, this time on the outside. Can he make it the move? He makes it stick, and he will have DRS for the next straight as well. If I'm correct. Yeah. There's no DRS from Lando Bot, so that also takes away the pressure from behind, as he goes through the awkward section, as I like to call it. He isn't dropping Lando by a lot, but being out of the dirty air of the Aston Martin will significantly help him chase down after Bambino. And Ferrari needs the points. Everyone needs the points. We're now past the halfway mark of the season, and everyone wants to or doesn't want to give away anything. Fabrinaldo now also a penalty. And what you will see with these penalties is that most of them are obtained in Sector 2, where you're going really fast. You have to go really fast, but it will also mess you up, as if you run slightly offline, you will already get a penalty for it. As there's a huge group of cars in the background not even led by so Crofty has overtaken Fabrinado. Fabrinado is trying to fight back. Helenen got... No, was that Helenen? No, it wasn't Helenen. It was Joker who got involved. What is Joker doing there? Surely he's already far enough behind. He should be making way for those blue flags, but he just refuses to. And this is seriously throwing off Crofty or Fabrinaldi. Meanwhile, the gap between Lando and Robin is over a second. If Robin can keep it like that, there's no problem for him. Crofty also takes up a penalty, fighting Saeed. Saeed is right underneath the railing of Samad Turkman, who overtook him previously, and Saeed is going to take their position back on the main straight with the help of DRS. As Turksman isn't close enough to Lucky High to take any of the DRS. Rear wings opens, not even made any difficult. Crofty meanwhile will also try to take advantage of this, but he is too far back behind. Fabinaldi is really dropping off because of Joker here, and he will be really annoyed with the McLaren as this is losing him precious time. DRS Neil is back ahead of Norris, and one problem that the Aston Martins will have compared to Robin and Bambino is that they can't come in on the same lap. They need to make a choice on who pits first, who pits second. So they need to one of them needs to compromise the strategy, or they have different strategies, which is also possible. The worst thing that can happen for them is they didn't make a plan and are both pitting on the same lap, because that will really disadvantage the second Aston Martin, which at this point is Lando. Looking down a bit further back, Turksman is losing time to Saeed, and Crofty is right behind him. He wants to double his points. He goes for the inside. He backs out. Saeed made a mistake. Lets Turksman by. Cuts the corner. Loses the position to Crofty, so it's not going off track and gaining in position. But this was a really big mistake from Saeed. Meanwhile, Robin has been overtaken by DRS Neil. Lando's tires seem to have dropped. Julio has another 3-second time penalty added to his time. Robin really tries to at least maintain the podium, hope for P2. Bambino has extended the lead to 2.4 seconds. We're used to a Red Bull in front, but I'm happy that it isn't leading by 15 seconds. Robin will try with DRS again. He moves to the inside. He gets it on before the corner, moves back to the racing line. And this will go back and forth for a while, as the DRS is now still with Robin. It's a double DRS zone. And what that means is that, as Lucky High gets a penalty, a double DRS zone is basically two DRS zones taking one DRS detection point. So, which you see here, and which you can also see at Canada and Melbourne, is if two DRS straights are separated by two corners or one corner, they will have the same detection point. So, like you see here, if you cross the detection point in seconds, overtake the leading driver in the final turn, you will still have the DRS for those 2 straights, which in a way can be unfair, but it's just a track like this. It's really, really powerful, as Turkman has spun and is now suffering from it. Is there damage on the wing? There is not, but there is a lot of position given there. As Jaguar and Lucky are fighting into turn 1. It's going well. Lucky's high tires are going to lose grip. Jaguar is making absolute use of that. Lucky Eye comes back with the DRS, forces him almost off track. But it was all fair, it's all allowed. Lucky Eye is trying to hold on to what he can, but if those rear tires go, they really go. Meanwhile, Crofty is trying to overtake Said. Said blocks very aggressively. Now Cassell has a time penalty. Said still leading from Crofty. Jaguar still stuck behind the Rebel. He knows he can take him on the front, on the straight. Use the double DRS zone and try to push away from him. Julio, another 3-second time penalty. He is not having a good weekend. Now on the main straight, we can see the DRS opening now. Use those extra 10 kilometers per hour more, maybe 15. Pull alongside, make the overtake, and try to get away as quick as possible. The softs really should be starting to slip off for Lucky Eye. Another DRS zone for Jaguar. And I think if he can keep this until the second sector, until the slingshot, he will have the position. Meanwhile, Crofty did get past Said. Said is now fighting with Fabrinaldi. But, you know, it's all about tire wear at this point. How far are your tires worn? Can you keep pushing? Do you need to save the tires? Lucky Eye cannot get past Jaguar. His tires are getting older and older and more worn. Crofty is pulling away from Said. Said is either thinking more about the defense, or as he's sliding all around, he has messed up his tires too much. Will there be DRS? I doubt there will be. The rear wing stays close. The rear wing of Fabrinaldi is wide open. He can take advantage of the double DRS zone here and try to overtake on the next straight. Meanwhile, at the front of the pack, I think Landobot is trying desperately to get ahead of the Ferrari and get behind his teammate. It will not be easy though, as Robin is not keen on giving up that podium position he has. Going through the final part of the slingshot, the DRS opens on both cars and nothing happens yet, but there is no way that these guys are feeling comfortable about the tires. They've already gone 14 laps. I don't actually know how it is with the tire wear. Sadly, it doesn't show a widget of that. Saying that, DRS Neil has decided to come in already. He looks like he's going to undercut his rivals. Are those not another set of mediums? Is he going for the 2-stop? I think he is going for the 2-stop. He has ditched the mediums for another set of mediums, and I think around lap 28, 29 he will box for the soft set of tires, which Lucky High is already showing can go quite well, as he is back in front of Jaguar. He has the double DRS, and if I were him, I will be pitting quite... Actually, if he can stretch this a little further, he will have a good position and go on the same tires as the rest, which will probably be the hards. Or maybe even the mediums. Robin is still ahead of Lando. Lando will have the double DRS here. Robin will not. The gap is now 4.5 seconds to Bambino. It's clear to see that unless something happens, Bambino will win this race. Lando got quite a bit back, but he does have the DRS enabled. As I think that's Lucky High now going to ditch his soft tire. And I think that's also CI. That is CI, also in the pits. Lucky High exit the pit box before CI even is close. So he will stay ahead. Simon Turksman, after his incident, exits, is still behind Lucky High, despite still having to pit, so Lucky High will not have to worry about fighting someone on all the tires and can just try to heat the mediums up. Very good strategy from him, a very good one indeed. DRS Neil has come out in traffic. Let's see. Lando is still trying to fight Robin. Is someone of them coming into the pits? Both are staying out. They will need to extend these mediums as far as they possibly can. Fabrinaldi is overtaken by Neil. Neil on those new mediums is really enjoying it, but he will have another stop to make. Did he fucking pit again? No, that was Jaguar jumping into the pit. He is going to fit the hard tire. Cassell is on hard tires as well. So we're seeing split strategies here of people going to mediums and people going to hards, or soft, medium, medium, hards. Those are the strategies we're seeing here today. Jenkins is probably going to pit for softs after his hard stint. Crofty will... I actually don't know what he will do. Lando is still trying desperately to overtake Robin. Said is still chasing Fabrinaldi. And Helenen is really close to Jenkins. I actually want to see this, because this 3-car battle is really important for the points. Joker gets another penalty. I really respect Joker for still being on the track instead of retiring into pit lane. He's really counting on some DNFs. Cassell really wants to overtake these guys, as there is a caution. I think it is Crofty. No? Something must have happened. Fabrinaldi in the pits without front wing. Helenen in the pits with a front wing. But Fabrinaldi with a damaged front wing. He must have done something. And he's losing a lot of positions for it. He's now behind Helenen, just in front of Samet. But I don't know what happened, but it really hurt his race. I'm glad for him though, it happened at the end of the lap and not at the start of it. He is going to lose to Samet Turksman here. And he is now almost in last. And I think that's Robin now hopping into the pits. Robin hoping for the undercut on Lando will help him beat his rival. As he now exits the pit box. Very nice exit there. But there is DRS Neil. There he goes. He has a small gap to make up. But DRS Neil still has the pit actually, so it doesn't matter him. His fight is just with Lando. As Saeed is also in the pit lane. He has switched also for a set of hards. Not as many softs as I initially thought. Those on the hards like Jenkins surely will be pitting soon. Actually, I think it's only Jenkins. Actually, Bambino is still going on those mediums, the same for Lando. I don't know their strategy, but seeing as they're still continuing on, the chance exists that they are actually going for medium soft tire strategy, which will be pretty impressive if they pull it off. Neil is still gaining on Robin, but Robin just needs to get the tires up to temperature and then push. Because the tires can make it. The tires can most definitely make it. Cassell following Julio. Obviously Julio hasn't pit yet, Cassell has. So Cassell wants to make this move as quick as possible. As Lucky High on slightly older but softer tires is chasing him down. Jenkins is in the middle of Lucky High and Jaguar. Jaguar is being hunted by Crofty though. Jenkins still not pitting is pretty funny to me actually. Let's see, where are the battles? Joker, another penalty is nothing new. Fabrinaldi is still fighting Helenan. And I think that's Bambino in the pit lane. Let's see what tire he chooses. I think those are softs. They are. Joker has finally retired and it's a virtual safety car. I think Joker crashed out. Let us see where his car is positioned. Oh yeah, that's definitely a crash. That virtual safety car is really going to help DRS Neil and Bambino, as they can now fit in or put on the soft tires without any problems. The time loss is heavily reduced. Robin is still behind Bambino at this point. Virtual is out. Fabrinaldi has a drive-through. Jenkins and Julio are still in the pit lane, although be it pit lane exit. Fabrinaldi also takes a 5-second time penalty, so he really is not taking a very nice race here. Yeah, Bambino is going to win this race, especially since the virtual has helped him with the tire change. The fight, however, is between Landobot and Robin, as Landobot enters the pit lane now. And this is where the important part is. He's definitely going for softs. There goes Bambino. There goes Robin. And this is the gap that Lando has to close on his rival in order to take second place from him. He has a good defensive line behind him in terms of his teammates. So we'll see what that will bring for him, as penalties will not be applied on the top 4 at this moment. Not that the top 4 matters, because Bambino is just going to win this race. Which will really help close the gap on Jaguar, who is not having the race of the season here in Mexico. He is stuck fighting with Crofty. Lucky High is desperately trying to get Alfa Romeo ahead of him and climb yet another position in this race. The tire situation is better for him, Bambino, fastest lap. Just take the extra point, mate. There is no way we are stopping you at this rate. There goes DRS, there's Giselle, quickly followed by Lucky. Lucky will take the DRS and will use it probably to pass Giselle in the next straight. He is already right behind him. Giselle defends the inside, moves to the outside. Lucky Eye dives to the inside, is ahead before they even get to the corner, and will use the tire to push away from Giselle. As the DRS opens again for him, the fight will continue on for now, but I don't think Giselle can take Lucky High back, and will have to deal with the fact that P6 is the best he can hope for until something happens. Yeah, this is the closest battle we are watching right now. I am going to grab a drink real quick because I'm not used to talking this much. Oh, that was my bag. No, my chocolate bars. Anyway, Lucky Eye has defended the position, but now the DRS is working for the Alfa Romeo. He goes down the inside, makes the move before the turn is done, and he just does back what Lucky High did to him the lap before. Takes the double DRS again. And Lucky High now also has to contend with AlphaTauri of Crofty behind him. Crofty, can we just, as Fabrinaldi gets another penalty, we really need to talk about Crofty. Refused to exit the pit in qualifying, and now here he is from P16 to P7. What an amazing race he is having at the moment. Giselle is pushing away from Lucky, but the DRS opens now, the first of 3 consecutive DRS zones. But he is under too much pressure from Crofty to really be focusing on the car ahead that's slowly pulling away from him. Lando 3 seconds still to Robin. This will really go on until the final lap. But going back to Lucky Eye, he is getting close but not close enough. Almost rear ends the Alfa Romeo. And this might be Giselle's chance to get away from the Red Bull. If the Red Bull and the AlphaTauri end up fighting too hard against each other, Giselle can drive away and take P5 still. And it looks like Lucky is choosing defensive lines against Crofty behind him. Giselle has managed to get away by a second, and I think that means that he can take P5 here. Yeah, Lucky High is really trying to defend against the AlphaTauri, but with him not having DRS on the next straight, how long can he hold on against Crofty? Because Crofty tires are newer, not softer, but we just saw with Giselle that it didn't really matter. Now following in the DRS, or not yet the DRS, the slipstream, opening the DRS, dive into the inside, I think he will go. He chooses the inside. before the turn, they even entered the turn, returns to the racing line, and these two will fight it out until the end of the race, I'm sure. Crofty will obviously try to get Cassell back into the fight. I don't think Cassell is really open to that suggestion. Even though the gap is closing a bit, Crofty does have a whole lot of pace. I doubt he'll be able to fully cross the gap to Cassell. He almost has a second. He does have a second to Lucky High already. So Lucky High is dropping back slightly. And Crofty is closing up the gap to Cassell. So Crofty might actually go from last row on the grid to P5 at the end of the race. So we have a yellow flag. I think that's Saeed who spun. It is. He managed to get going again. I don't see front wing damage, so he can continue on without too much trouble. But he cannot do that too often. Cassell still leading from Crofty going out of turn 3. But them now on a DRS straight will not help his cause. As there's another yellow flag, I think that Prasimus spun. He has. Helenen and Fabrinaldi go through. This isn't for points, so... but yeah, we saw last week in Shanghai a big fight in the real Formula 1 for P16. So hey, they may fight as hard as they want here as well. But the battle here for P5 goes on. Cassell doesn't know how long he can hold off the AlphaTauri behind him. He's been faster. He has made so many overtakes together. And he is having the DRS on his side right now. Which will all help him to beat the Alfa Romeo in the coming 9 laps. Yeah, 9 laps still to go, so this will be a big fight for P5. As I think Sayed has spun again. Yeah, I think Sayed has messed up his rear wing or something, because he's spinning it more and more. He's now dropping the back of the grid. Not a position you want to be in when you're second in the constructor standings and really not enjoying the race here. Lando Bot only needs 2.1 seconds. Crofty only needs 6 tenths. Lucky High has already dropped fully off here. But P7 is not a bad position for him to be in if he doesn't lose it to Jaguar. Him holding up Jaguar can really help his teammates secure the lead in the championship. Well, I don't think he can take the lead here, but at the end of the season it will be very nice help in the standings. I think that CI heavily fighting Julio in the back, I think. Yeah, these two are also really close to each other. But I think Crofty will make a move. Crofty does not. Will CI make a move? There is already the overspeed. The rear wing opens. He is closing. There is a virtual safety car, but because I think Saeed has pinned it again. This time with front wing damage. And the virtual safety car will help Saeed to recover his or bid for new win and new softs. It's also buying time for Robin, who is being reeled in by the Aston Martin behind him big time. It also buys a bit of time for Cassell, as there is quite some people in the pit lane getting lapped here. DRS is enabled again. The virtual safety car is over at this moment. And those lap people will need to get out of the way of the running leaders. Coming there now. Someone has run off track. I think that's Prasimu who ran off track. Also lap now. Crofty getting closer and closer to Casal, but then dropping off again in the corners. This is quite the battle unfolding here. Robin still has 3.5 seconds. I do think he will have it against Lando. Will be very nice if he has. But Casal is still being haunted here by the AlphaTauri, not leaving him any rest. Any chance he can get to pass the Alfa Romeo, you can bet that Crofty will take it. Casal can only try to hold on through the DRS zones. Lucky Eye has gained a small bit of time under the VSC, but no penalty applied to him, so it should have been legal. As the DRS opens again for Crofty, entering the stadium section. This is all really close with just a couple of laps to go. As I think there was a lockup for Crofty, not what you want. Because this will give Casal a big tire advantage. But the gap is just 5 tenths entering the DRS straight. The DRS slaps open. And this is now going to be a harsh fight going into turn 4. Because I think he's a bit too far back to really send it. He clapped in the DRS for a moment there manually. I don't know why he did it. Crofty takes a slightly wider line, tries to get a better acceleration to try and pursue the Alfa Romeo, and he just doesn't make it. He has to bide his time for another lap, but there aren't too many laps left. Sorry again. Oh, damn it. Lando, meanwhile, has gained over a second over the last lap on Robin. Robin really needs to push now if he wants to keep this position. The traffic of the McLaren is really annoying him at this moment, but he just has to deal with it for now. Said with the fastest lap. It's even though he's last at the moment, an extra point will never hurt for the Ferrari, as his teammate is fighting heavily to stay in second. Crofty on the straight still can't pass, but he's really close now. And having the DRS means he only needs a good exit out of 3. He doesn't get a perfect exit, and I don't think he will close up enough. So there's yellow flags. I think that's Prasimu spinning. That means Said moves up a position before going off track himself and needing to return to position. Yellow flags again, but nothing too bad. As I think Crofty is losing a bit of time now against his rival. 6 tenths is the gap. DRS open to close the gap. As is Said going to box again? Said boxes again. So again damage for the Ferrari, and he decides to pull out of the race. He's had enough pain. He's going to pull into the garage and call this race goodbye. Crofty 3 tenths. The gap is closer than it was the lap before. Casal closes the gap on the outside. Crofty does not have too much laps left. He knows he doesn't. He knows he needs to get a move on here. But It's just the same thing every lap. And I don't know how long he can keep this up for. See, it exits the pit, looking for a place to retire. It's stupid that they need to put the car roadside and can just pull it back into the garage. I see it has now fully left the session. Yellow flags into turn 1 to 3 means DRS will not be too good there. The yellow flags are gone now. Oh, I don't know why you got the DRS sound, but thank you. As Crofty is now 6 tenths away, it's a bit far. He needs a good exit out of the final turn. Takes a more inside line, accelerates early, closes the gap to 3.5 tenths. But again, it's not going to be close enough, or is it? No, he stays behind the Alfa Romeo. We'll have to try another day. Meanwhile, Lucky High slowly catching up. And we also can't forget that Jaguar Power does not have penalties and can take some advantage of the 3 fighting ahead. Jackin and Blurry Julioso are fighting, while CI watches from behind. On the fringe of points, Julioso doesn't get DRS, and this doesn't really help him as they go side by side through turn 4. No incidents yet. Jackskin tries it around the outside, no chance there, and the 3 continue like they were. Crofty again in the DRS. He only has 2 laps remaining after this. He knows it's now or never for him in order to take P5 of Cassel. The lead of the Grand Prix has grown to 7 seconds, 2.9 from Lambert to Robin. So unless Robin makes a mistake, the top 3 is set in stone. Now Jack Crofty did look to make a move. Is he going for it? He is not. He's going to leave it to the final lap of the race to try and pass Cassel, because I doubt he will be able to make a move here. Bambino is almost entering the final lap of this race. So that's also something to look towards, as I think someone went really wide. Yeah, Jaguar Power will definitely gain a position, at least from Lucky High here. Or Lucky High gets a move on and Jaguar makes a mistake or something, but the penalties are just going to do him in. Let's go away with the tires and show penalties, so we can get a clear picture on who's going to finish where. Final lap is running. Crofty knows this might be his last chance. He's right underneath him. Just a tenth. He moves to the inside. Is this the moment? This is the moment. He makes the move before the corner. And the DRS on the next straight means that he will cling on to P5 at the end of the race. A very nice overtake for when it really, really mattered. Then let's switch to Bambino, who has driven an excellent race. Nothing to say on the man, except that he is the next Max Verstappen and people hate him because he makes racing boring. Round the final tour, Bambino wins the Mexican Grand Prix. Robin EXE is the next one across the line for P2. Lando couldn't catch him and takes the final spot on the podium. DRS Neil is the next one going across the line. Very good race from him. Crofty is still fighting with Cassel, but I don't think Cassel can do anything here. I think it's race over for him, as the gap has significantly dropped. He must have made a mistake. Crofty goes for P5. Cassell has run out of fuel. Cassell is losing a lot of positions here. P8 for him. Blurry still has a 12-second penalty, so he will not even get points here. Yeah, Blurry drops to P11 out of the points. The final points go to Jackin and CI. He will keep P11 as the gap to the car behind him is massive. But Cassell running out of fuel on the final lap of the race. Really disappointing for him. But what a race we have witnessed here today. A very, very nice race. Crofty deserved driver of the day. From the back of the grid to P5 is not something you pull out every day. What a race this was. Then we have on the podium Bambino in first. So Robin next to him. And at his other side is the Aston Martin of Lando Bot. An amazing race from all the three drivers, and they deserve to be up there. Bambino is definitely going to be happy knowing that his championship rival didn't have a very good race as well. So the fight at the top of the championship is going to continue on next week, when I assume a man is back. But just to run over it again, we have Bambino, Robin, Lando on the podium. Neil tried his best but couldn't do it with the strategy. Crofty, Jaguar fought really hard with Cassell. Between them are Jaguar and Lucky High, also having a bit of a fight between them. Jackin and CI took the final points from Julio. Summer Turkman, Fabrinaldi, really bad races. Helenen just got in the back of it. Presamu in last, and we have Said as a retirement on his own. And the McLaren of Joko was in the wall. It was all a very good race to watch, and I'll hope to have there to another time. If I don't, I wish you guys a lot of luck for the rest of the season.